Every now and then something comes along which changes the game, makes you think differently about your hobby. Welcome back to the channel, folks. We are back in the Meganex Micro OLED VR headset, and I'm going to talk about that as well and how it may compare to the Dream Air. But most importantly, we are here today to check out the Black Square Baron Professional. This is a brand new aircraft from Black Square. Make no mistake, this isn't just an analog overhaul, but a completely new aircraft with brand new sounds by Boris Audio Works, which, as you know, are very highly acclaimed in the flight sim industry, and you'll see why as we go through this video. Absolutely incredible sounds, as well as the deep systems simulation, that is the engine and electrical systems that Black Square are known for. So I'm just having a mess around here and realizing that the control lock was off, so I couldn't wiggle my ailerons around, which is a nice touch during my pre-flight, which is all modeled in MSFS 2024, which we're using today with Sim Update 4 Beta, which is getting better and better. I'm really glad that we've got to this stage where VR is working really well. And as we do the walk around here, it just feels so realistic. Every different surface, every different component of the aircraft has its own sound attached to it, as you'd imagine. And there is something very unique about Black Square aircraft, especially these new professional series that are right up there with A2A. They are really the PMDG of the general aviation sector. Now, something that is pretty incredible with this new series of professional aircraft, and that is, it's not just about the study level aspect of all the systems, but it also looks absolutely gorgeous. As we look around the 3D modelling and texture work in the Meganex Micro OLED VR headset, no stone is left unturned, and it looks so sharp, even obscenely close up, which a lot of other aircraft tend to fall down on. The Black Square Baron looks stunning inside and out, and a top job to Nick for producing one of the most beautiful looking birds I've ever seen. Let alone the fact that this is also incredibly realistic, and the sheer presence of being inside this aircraft in VR. Let me tell you, folks, it is very special indeed. These are worth every penny. Let's just say this now. Although you'll find yourself that after flying a Black Square aircraft such as this, everything else just feels a little bit flat. And you'll end up flying this for hours and hours and hours. So let's talk about some of the unique features of the Black Square. As you can see here, I'm showing you that you can change the avionics on the fly, so to speak. The iPad style interface can be changed to a VR view as well, which I really like, so thank you, Nick, for that. And this here with the engine simulation, you can see exactly what's going on. That's one of the special things about Black Square, is it's not just scripted elements but physical simulations of each component, and the sounds are multi-layered, which means that every startup could be different, very much like A2A. And I think it's fair to say that Nick was very inspired by how they did things, but in this case I feel this has gone up a notch. This is really, really impressive. And what we're going to do now is get the aircraft ready for takeoff. First of all, we've done our pre-flights, and now we're going to do our before start checklist, and we're going to head from a beautiful airport in Switzerland. Can't remember the name, folks, sorry, but from here all the way to Lugano over Lake Como on the border of Italy and Switzerland. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic and stunning flight, especially with these beautiful autumn colours. So this is a good time to talk about some of the major features and what's new really compared to, say, the analog Baron. Well, it's pretty massive. For example, the manual is now 165 plus pages, so I would recommend printing that off at work. You actually have 3 aircraft in one: the normal aspirated B-58, the turbocharged version, which is what we're using today, and a pressurized version, which is the 58P. Of course, we get that new tablet interface, and the new physics-based engine simulation has all sorts of very hidden beautiful treasures such as compression, magneto, impulse coupling, blade angle, oil temperature and pressure, cylinder head temperature, preheating, improved fuel injection simulation, vapor fouling, flooding, backfires, 100 plus random, scheduled or performance triggered failures. So what that means really essentially is if you don't look after the aircraft, things will start to wear and break over time. So you do need to approach this like a real pilot, and just knowing things could break, especially if you're on a long tour, that really does excite me because it makes the aircraft feel alive. So it is important to do that checklist, and I do feel that's one of the stars of the show with this particular series from Black Square, whether it is the analog version, which I remember being a great aircraft, but it has to be said, the new Baron Professional feels like a completely different animal, as hopefully I'll demonstrate now. Here we go. Just listen to that, the shaking as the gyros are spinning up. Everything feels so fluid and alive because it's based upon this physics engine, which is not a script but a real-time thing. Right, let's hope we get a good start on the left engine. Come on, old girl. You can do it. Come on. There she goes. What a sound. And actually, what a sense of relief when she fires up like that with the shaking and the rattling. It feels very rewarding. And as you can hear there, that's the sound of the avionics coming online as well. And we'll continue with our engine start and after start checklist. And I'll talk a bit more about the Meganex, how it feels being back in it. But let's just hear those sounds from the outside. Just you wait until we go full engine power for takeoff, guys. It sounds incredible. So yeah, it's great to be back in the Meganex 8K, and especially hot off the heels of using the Dream Air, I genuinely expected to be a little bit disappointed with it. But with the latest firmware updates, and especially with the S-Boy 3 driver, there is some new settings which makes the field of view larger and the scale of the world a bit more believable. This, in my opinion, also helps with the sweet spots and the general warping profile, which has also been improved. Don't get me wrong though, the lenses are not as good as the Dream Air, not at all. But in terms of the displays, it is pretty damn close, and this thing is still my favourite VR headset right now. The Dream Air has a lot to live up to, and it's really great being back in it again. It's reminded me how much I friggin' love it. Even if I've had to mod it with a deluxe audio strap, and I look a bit weird on the camera with that L-shape adapter for the audio. But you know what? It is a very, very comfortable headset, and I can easily be in this pretty much all day. And let me tell you, with an aircraft such as the Baron Professional, you will be in it all day, as we do our before takeoff checklist, making sure everything is where it's at. We're going to make sure that the air conditioning unit is now off, the cowl flaps are open, landing light is on, fuel pumps are off. Here we go, folks. Strap yourselves in. It's takeoff time. Listen to this. Oh, she sounds so beautiful. We are airborne. Let's go outside, because then you'll really hear the sound of those beautiful twin engines. The spatial audio effects, something I'm very picky about, are spot on as well. Look at that for a view. We are currently getting a locked 45 frames per second using DLSS 4 in this case. Using fixed foveated rendering because the Meganex does not have eye tracking like the Dream Air. So it's now time to climb out this valley and do a bit of a U-turn. In terms of the flight behaviour, well, funny enough, I haven't flown a real Baron. I'm just a flight sim nerd, but she does feel good in the air. Really, really nice, and far better than the default Baron with the analog gauge overhaul. Remember folks, this is a brand new aircraft. It's completely reworked from the ground up, including the external textures, sounds and all the systems. So you are getting great value for money, especially when you think you're getting 3 different aircraft. And if you happen to own the analog Steam version, then you actually get a further 20% discount. Or you could go for the bundle deal of the Baron and the Bonanza Professional for $44.99. Of course, with that 20% off, that becomes around £35 British. That's essentially for 6 different aircraft of this high fidelity. I think that's a fantastic deal. So now on to one of my favourite features, which is very simple, of the Baron, and that is headphone simulation. Look at this. Not only do you have headphones now, but you can control the volume of the noise inside the cockpit. Now of course I do love those sounds, but on a long run you don't really want those engines droning at you like you would in the real world, and that really gives you a better sense of what it's like in a real aircraft with, say, a set of Bose headphones on. Must say these views are looking absolutely fantastic. Of course with Micro OLED, when I look at that sky, there is no interruptions between me and that sky, no Mura, which you get with QLED panels such as the Crystal. It's just perfect blue skies. I don't feel like I'm looking at a screen, and that's what I love about these BOE style panels of the Meganex. The Sony Micro OLED panels of the Dream Air are just as good, perhaps a bit better if I'm honest. They just feel a little bit cleaner and sharper, which I didn't think would be even possible, but they do look phenomenal. And that could be due to the lenses of the Dream Air, which are far superior. That is something that is very obvious, and that is the better warping profile, and the edge-to-edge clarity in the sweet spot is far greater than the Meganex. One thing that is definitely obvious though is the brightness of the Meganex is far better, but that could be just due to the firmware issue that I had during my demo with the Dream Air. Anyway, let's have a little pan around of the Baron, enjoy some spatial audio before doing our cruise checklist. Back to aviating again. We're going to turn on our pitot heat because it's getting a bit cold up here as well. Going through all our checks here, everything is all good. And yeah, really enjoying this flight as we can see Lake Como just in the distance there, looking absolutely stunning with sim update 4 beta. What an absolute treat. I hope you're enjoying this VR footage. A little bit different today. I'm doing a bit of voiceover just to make sure that the image is fairly stable, because with a small headset on as I talk there is a lot of movement in the camera. So let me know what you think to this different way of doing things. Talking about the Baron again, we haven't even scratched the surface of the new features, so I'll just go through a few more as you enjoy this VR footage over this beautiful, beautiful lake. So the new physics-based sound system means that, as I said before, the sounds like engine starting are not just recordings, but instead many layered sounds constructed based on the underlying simulation. Just look at the textures back here in the cabin. They are really, really crisp. Fantastic work. Back to all the new stuff for this release. There is a lot, folks, including new propeller hub with unfeathering, new engine preheating required for cold starts with a heater and a ground power cart, new voltage-based light dimming, we're going to look at that in a moment, and new gyroscope physics simulation, There's new avionics such as the KLN90B vintage GPS. The KNS81R nav now supports autopilot with no GPS configuration. And the famed turbocharger simulation, well, that's got even better now, folks. It was frigging good before, but now it is far more realistic. And things are about to get even more mind-blowing, especially in a Micro OLED VR headset of this resolution, because we're going to check out the panel lighting, something that I absolutely adore about black square birds. And you can see here I'm shaking my head in disbelief. It's just absolutely beautiful. What an amazing place to be. I am definitely going to be spending a lot of time flying this bird at night time. Well done, Nick. Super job. So here we're just getting visual now on Lugano. It's a bit hazy through that layer of cloud. The gear is going down now, setting up for a downwind. And it's now time to see if we can land this bird for the first time. A little bit nervous as I'm on camera, but hopefully things will go okay. We did just do our approach checklist off camera, just to try and save a bit of time on this video, because a bird like this, well, it really deserves its own tour series, let alone just doing a sort of 18-20 minute video. So a nice tight pattern here for our final approach. Let's see how we get on here. You can hear the rattling of the audio system in this really brings it to life. And just look at that panel there with the wood and the different materials. It looks absolutely superb. Here we go then. A little long, but you know what? I reckon we can do this no problems at this airfield. And that is it. We are down. This has been the Meganex Superlight 8K Micro OLED VR headset in MSFS 2024, showcasing the brand new Black Square Baron Professional. It is available on the Just Flight store. It's been an absolute pleasure showcasing it in VR. This is high-end VR, general aviation like you've never seen before. It is an absolute fantastic experience, folks. This is worth every single penny. I've got nothing but praise for the Black Square series of aircraft. In my opinion, they are really showing how to do things properly. And as we park up here on the grass, it's now time to spool those engines down, listen to these sounds. I really do appreciate those shakes and rattles. We've also got wing flex here as well. So it very much is a live aircraft, and it feels it. You can hear there the gyro spinning down. And remember to switch everything off, because how you left the aircraft will be how you'll find it the next time you load it up. So that's very important. Impeccable modelling. Let's take a look outside the aircraft now. Welcome to Lugano. A beautiful place. And that's it, folks. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye for now.